I'm Dr Cath Watson, and today PD Insurance has asked me to talk to you about pet road safety. How can you keep your pet safe while you're travelling in vehicles or around roads? So, first rule, really simple, keep them under control. If it's a dog, then we're talking about on a lead or a harness. If we're talking about cats, then they need to be contained or again on a harness that they can't slip out of. So you need to be extra vigilant around roads, particularly when there's lots of traffic. So school run time, rush hour, but also holiday times, which is not necessarily something we would think about, but depending on where you live, some areas see a massive increase in traffic over the holiday period. If you're going to be entering or exiting a vehicle, then there's a couple of other considerations to have. So first of all, what sort of control have you got over your cat or your dog? Like I say, ideally for cats, they're contained in some cage that they can't escape out of, or wearing a harness that you can secure them to the vehicle somehow with a seatbelt. For dogs, same thing. Ideally, they're either in a contained area in the boot, where if you have an accident, they're not likely to be hurt, but also they're not likely to come through and hurt you. Or they're seat belted in as well, and you can certainly get harnesses and that sort of thing which adapt as seatbelts for dogs to make sure that they stay safe as passengers, just as we do. So making sure that they are restrained in some way, that they cannot harm themselves and that they cannot harm you, but also that they can't escape or distract you while you're driving. So I don't know about you, but I heard all sorts of stories when I was growing up about cats being loose in the car when people were travelling and them getting under the brake pedal. I can imagine the consequences of that if you needed to stop in a hurry and there's a cat under your brake pedal. It's not going to be good for the cat or for you. But also, it's just like having a mobile phone when you're driving. Pets can be really distracting, particularly cats that like to talk a lot when they're travelling, but even dogs that get excited at the traffic going past, that sort of thing. So making sure that either you have somebody with you to help keep the cat or dog entertained or occupied or able to deal with any issues. If you do have to travel on your own, then making sure that there's no way that they can get in your field of view or interrupt your driving to a level that is going to make it dangerous for you and other road users. I've already said using seatbelts, obviously that applies to you as well. Making sure that there's some fresh air, whether that means that you've got the ventilation system in your car working or potentially cracking windows. Obviously making sure that if you're going to have windows open, that there is no way they can escape out those windows. Particularly dogs jumping off vehicles while they're moving. I've seen some horrific injuries. It really, really is important that they are contained and can't escape from a moving vehicle. Making sure that they've got some sort of view, particularly for cats, actually can help them settle a little bit. They like feeling contained and in a safe place, but being able to see a little bit of what's going on can be helpful. If you find that actually your cat ends up more distressed, then having some way of covering the cage can also help them feel a little calmer about life. The other thing to consider if you're going to get out of a vehicle, particularly with dogs, what's the weather conditions like out there? We're in summer at the moment. If it's stinking hot out there, that pavement's going to be really, really hot, and you need to be thinking about their paws. They've got no protection. It's like you or I getting out of the car with bare feet on a hot day. That's really hot, and it's not something you can tolerate either. So making sure either they've got booties or you've got some way of carrying them, which is not always going to be easy in a big dog, or making sure there's some way of protecting their feet from the heat. Same goes for cold. Just be careful when you get out under icy conditions, which really only applies more to the southern parts of New Zealand, but making sure you're not going to slip over, making sure they're not going to slip over. For elderly dogs getting out of the car or even into the car, making sure there's some easy way of them doing that. It might mean making a ramp, or you're having to assist them in some way, but making sure they've got smooth ground to get out onto as well. and obviously making sure you have control over them while they're getting in and out of the vehicle. The last thing you want is a cat cage exploding and your cat disappearing off into the traffic, or having a dog leap out and run out in front of a car. Just like having kids, making sure you're aware of where they are and you've got control over their movements, entering and exiting vehicles around traffic. Same applies obviously when you're out for a walk with your dog, making sure you've got control whenever you're around traffic. It's pretty easy to get distracted, both for us and for them, and things can go bad very quickly. So making sure you've put your phone away and you're putting your full attention into your dog while you're out and about in the environment, you're going to keep both of you much safer.